Great day, great day. Come on in the room. Great day. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. As you join, please hit that like and share button. We love that. Yes. Like and share and let us know where you are joining or tuning in from. Wherever over the country or world that you're tuning in, please let us know. And yes, we are excited because we are on 3 platforms now: LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So please share where you are tuning in from. And thank you for joining us this evening. And hopefully, you cannot hear the raining that's going on outside, but it's raining where I am. And hopefully, that does not disrupt our evening of engagement. So, in the spirit of, yes, timeliness, I am going to go ahead and get started with us. And again, a super welcome and good evening to each and every one of you. Welcome to our weekly Mindset Matters webinar. And tonight we're talking about something that is almost everyone wants, but very few people truly define it for themselves. And that is this word or this mindset of success. Okay. Becoming the person who sustains winning the long-term game. Okay. Success, again, is not just about money. It's not just about titles, not about status, followers, recognition, even achievement. Real success begins in that mindset long before it shows up in your life. Many people want successful outcomes, but they do not have and have not developed that successful habits, that successful mindset, the successful thinking, the discipline that goes along with success, and also the successful emotional patterns that come along with it. Here's the truth. Success is not something you chase. Okay, let me say that again because a lot of people believe that. Success is not something you chase. Success is something you become aligned with. So tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to unpack what success really means, the belief that sabotages success, the habits and mindset shifts to sustain success, and how to stop performing success and start building it. Okay. So, and taking that a step further, building it intentionally. Yes, building it intentionally. Okay. So a lot of different areas that we're going to focus on in tonight's webinar. And so if you got pencil and paper and want to take notes, please definitely do so. We're going to engage you in the chat. In fact, we're going to kick off right now, engaging you in the chat. I just want you to drop in the chat, just simple, a few words. Doesn't have to be anything long and drawn out, but just tell us, what does success personally mean to you? What does success personally mean to you? Yes, you just heard me say a few comments about success, but even before you heard that, how would you yourself describe success in terms of what it means to you? Okay. So let's take the deep dive in. Success starts with, for me, identity. Okay. And thank you all for engaging and writing that in there courageously. Success starts with identity. And most people think success is external, but success starts internal. Your mindset does some things on a daily basis, is that as it relates to success, your mindset starts to shape your decisions, your consistency, your confidence, resiliency, your standards. Yes, you cannot outperform your self-image long-term. Okay? How you see you You're not going to get too far ahead of that. Okay. If internally you believe I am not enough, I will always fail, success is for other people, I don't deserve more, then eventually, guess what, folks? Your behavior will align with those beliefs. And a successful mindset says, I am capable, I can grow, I am growing, I can learn, I can adapt, I can recover, I can lead myself well. And notice the I can statements versus the I am not or I can't. Okay. So, how we reframe it in our mindset based on our beliefs speaks to how we will move, how we will respond, how we will react, and how well you will do in success. Okay. Again, question for the chat. What belief have you, what belief have you said to yourself that what belief out there is pending that you really need to overcome? Okay. That you really need to work on and overcome that's not serving you as it relates to success. What's one belief out there that you got to say to yourself, hey, I got to get past that because it's not serving me right now. It's not supporting my growth. Okay. And again, thank you for your honesty in the chat and just dropping that in there. Yes. Thank you for that engagement. As we move on to the next section, I want to talk about success, and that success really requires clarity. So I want to go deeper in that because you cannot consistently hit your targets if you don't have them clearly defined. So I can't say I want this ambiguous success, but I don't know what that looks like. Or I haven't defined what that looks like for me, because if I'm not clear on it, then I may hit it and I don't know that I hit it. Okay. And one of the biggest reasons people stay frustrated is because they're chasing vague goals. Okay. They're wanting just better. Okay. And it's not clarity. Okay. Success requires vision. It requires direction, intentionality, focused. Yes. Focus, alignment. Ask yourself simply, what am I truly building? What kind of life do I want? Okay. And write those answers down for yourself so you can read it back to yourself. So when it does show up, you know you have arrived. Okay. What kind of person do I need to become in order to get that? So when you see yourself evolving, you know you're there. Okay. What matters most to me right now in this season of my life, as you think about where you are right now, what matters most to me? Simple question that we ask ourselves when we're doing this reflection around success. Okay. And I'm real intentional and specific in this because this is clarity for us. And it's clarity for me. Okay. Because when you are distracted, folks, a distracted mindset produces inconsistent results. A focused mind creates momentum. And you've heard me talk about momentum often. The more focused I am, the more intentional that I am, the more clear I am, then momentum and movement can go in a path, in a direction of, in fact, where I need it to go. And let's shift now to the success traps. Yes, I got to tell you what you got to look out for. The success traps that keep people stuck. I got 4 of them for you. Okay. The success traps that keep people stuck. And I want you to be on the lookout for them. These are mindset traps, okay, that sabotage your success. And the first one that I've got on the list is that fear of failure. Yes, Fear of failure, number one. Okay. Many people quit before they begin because they fear mistakes. They fear not being good enough. They believe that it's so overwhelming that they won't even start. So they self-select out, and so they never get to the success. Failure, folks, is just simply feedback. Doesn't have to be where you're at in the mindset. But if that fear overpowers you, it sabotages the process, and then you don't get the results you're looking for. Failure is just data. I may do something, it doesn't work. That's just data. Let me unpack that, look at it, see what I learned. What do I not want to do again? And keep it moving. Okay? It's just data. Failure is always going to be a part of growth. Okay. There are going to be some things that don't always work for us. Sometimes we may get it right the first time, and that's great. But I want to be honest with you and say there are going to be some things, even some decisions that we make that don't always serve us, that don't always work. That's why we use it as data. We use it as growth. We use it as, our launching pad to do differently, to grow, to continue to take risks like we talked about last week. Okay. Number two, comparison. And again, as you probably heard me in the past say, I blame social media on this one, but I also blame us for not intentionally taking the right step on how to look at this, because we do a lot of comparisons. I should be here because so-and-so is here. I should be here because it looks like the people my age are doing X, Y, Z. I should be here in business because other folks in business similar to mine are here. No, that's not how this works. I should be comparing myself to who I was yesterday, to who the business I had yesterday. That's the comparison of growth throughout the journey. You should be your only person that you compare yourself to. Comparison, folks, destroys our confidence. Okay? You are comparing yourself behind the scene to someone else's highlight reel. And we do it all the time on social media. Half of it's not real. Half of it's an unrealistic expectation for you. And more importantly, oftentimes the highlight reel is the end result. You don't see the process because we don't talk about the process. That doesn't get clicks and likes. Okay, so that's number two. Number three is waiting for motivation. Okay, I cannot stress that enough. Success is not a feeling. Okay, it's who we become. It's where we go. It's not a feeling. Okay, so you could be in success, and there's not always going to be some motivation that gets us there. Okay, it's the choices that we make that get us there. And waiting for motivation can stagnate us. Okay, successful people rely less on their feelings. They build systems of discipline. And the systems of discipline are based on the daily choices to lean into who they need to become. Okay, I want us to get that. Number four, and yes, you may do a self-analysis and reflection as we talk about these and find out whether or not you've done these or are doing these right now. But number four, self-sabotage. Sometimes people fear success because success requires responsibility, visibility, and change. And when they've got to do that, they self-select out, or they become this perfectionist. Well, I got to have this before it gets done. And before you know it, you've sabotaged the process. Okay? And so we don't want to do that. These traps and I call them mindset traps, are what derails success for a lot of us. Okay. And if I'm honest, I can't tell you that I haven't found myself in one or a couple of these traps myself in the past. That's why I'm able to identify them for you. Okay. And so you want to avoid the mindset traps. Okay. I want you to go in the chat for me and just write down, which success trap have you yourself struggled with the most? Was it fear? Was it comparisons? Was it consistency? Was it that self-sabotage or self-doubt? Just throw it in the chat. Your courageous and honest input is amazing for your peers and for your willingness to move forward. Putting it out there exposes it. It gets less punch. It can't cultivate and build in your mindset once you put it out there in the atmosphere. And you're in a space of growing and learning so you can shift that. Okay? So thank you all for throwing that in the chat and just being honest as part of the process. Okay? Now I want to shift to success is built through daily habits. Okay? Success is built through daily habits. Yes, folks, daily choices. Okay? It is rarely on one big moment. Okay? Success is rarely this one choice, one thing that someone did, and boom, they were successful. It is a series of things, a series of choices that compounds into momentum, that compounds into action, and all the different and even failures, folks, that gets people to where they are now. It is usually some small, consistent actions repeated over time. And that mindset of success, yes, that mindset of success understands that small progress still matters. Discipline beats excuses. Consistency compounds. Habits shape identity. Okay? Habits shape identity, and your routines reveal your priorities. When you are consistently willing to continue to do even the small steps, that shows your priority, and that builds momentum. Successful people protect their energy, their mindset, their time, their environment, and yes, their focus. They're doing that strategically each and every day, folks, that we got to think about as we go on this journey of success ourselves. You've got to ask yourself, in some cases, what habits are helping me in my future? What habits are helping my future right now? What am I doing consistently that's going to help that yes that I said? What habits are hurting my future? What do I need to knock off? What do I need to stop doing? What do I need to stop avoiding? Okay, just again, self-analysis, folks, that we got to think about. And here's the secret sauce, which is the emotional intelligence of success. And you've heard me talk about EQ before. But the emotional intelligence, which I believe is a big thing in any leader's repertoire or mindset or day-to-day, and us as an individual professional or individual just person in society and world, emotional intelligence is a big part of success. Okay? It's not just the intellectual, folks. It is emotional. And you can be extremely talented and still sabotage relationships. You can have a whole bunch of knowledge and still struggle with leadership. Emotionally intelligent people manage their stresses well. They communicate effectively. They stay teachable, and they handle conflict much maturely. Okay? They respond instead of react, and they stay grounded under pressure. Yes, that's the making of an amazing leader. And if you combine that with some awesome habits, that's the road to success. Okay? Leadership success starts with self management, and it starts with me. And I'm going to go back to that saying you always hear me say, and that's all roads lead back to you and how you manage yourself. That mindset, which produces the action, is going to be a big part of how success manifests itself in your life. Your emotional patterns either will support your growth or they will sabotage it. Okay? It's your choice. You get to decide what that's going to look like for you. Okay? Now let's shift a little bit to the mindset of, proving, proving the mindset shift from purpose to one of the most powerful shifts in success is moving from I need to prove myself to I need to align with purpose. So reframing, changing some things, okay? When success is only about proving worth, eventually burnout happens. But when success is connected to purpose, yes, you hear me say that all the time. It's got to be connected to something. And that something has to be bigger than you. It has to be bigger than mama said I'm good at it. It has to be bigger than my partner doesn't support me or supports me. It has to be bigger than it's a talent of mine. It's got to be attached to a purpose, a significance that's greater than you. That's just my perspective. Okay? Because when it is connected to purpose, you move differently. You lead differently. You serve differently. You stay grounded. Yes, you stay grounded because purpose-centered success creates fulfillment, not just achievement. And I can't stress that enough. It's great that I have went to school and I've got master degrees, bachelor's degrees, certifications, and certificates, and a lot of accolades and achievement. But none of that matters to me if in the work that I do on a daily basis, doesn't produce a changed, shifted mindset, doesn't produce a life changing, doesn't save somebody. Every single time that happens, it is priceless for me, far beyond compensation, far beyond any achievement that I have. If my experience with someone else or someone's experience that they have with me shifts their mindset to purpose, shifts their mindset to self-identity and believing in themselves and believing for greater for themselves, that for me far exceeds achievement success, compensation success, but more lasting success that certainly shows I am winning in a great way. And not only am I winning, success for me also means someone else is. Okay? And so I'm going to give you this next segment, which is just some practical strategies. And there are 5 practical mindset shifts for success that I want you to just think about. And number 1 is just take ownership of whatever your success looks and feels like. Stop blaming circumstances for everything. Just take ownership. Okay? Develop a discipline. Stay consistent. Develop discipline. Do what needs to be done, even when emotions fluctuate. Sometimes you might feel motivated, sometimes you might not, but I'm committed. And that's what keeps me moving forward. I am committed. Okay? Protect your environment. Number three, protect your environment. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Your environment matters. Does that lift you up? Does that further empower you? Does that motivate? And whether it does or not, be intentional about, because that environment gets in here. Okay. Number four, celebrate progress. Stop minimizing your growth, even if it's small steps. Celebrate it. Okay. And what I subscribe to constantly is keep learning. Number five, keep learning. A growth mindset. Growth minded people stay teachable. And because I love the growth mindset, I am always willing and ready to learn, because success is never going to be perfection. It's going to be growing and continue to grow, because every level requires a next best version of me. And in order to get that, I got to have that growth mindset. Success in progress is intention. Success is going to be progressing, but I got to do it with much intention. And I just want you to just think about, take a moment and just reflect on what you've heard up until now about success, and just ask yourself this question. What is one mindset shift that I need to make to move to that next level? Because for each and every one of us, if you're living, there's a next level. There's a next level that we all have that has yet to be realized. We just got to get there. And just have some honest reflection on what we've talked about. And what's a step that I can make that moves me there a little further? Think about it honestly. Because the next level it's not really just about strategy. It's about identity, habits, discipline, and even your beliefs. Because all of that is got to help us get there. And if my strategy isn't great, I don't have a plan. If I'm still subscribing to an old identity, I don't have no habits, no daily things that I'm going to do, and I'm not disciplined, and I'm not motivated because I'm relying on my feelings and emotions, and I'm still holding on to some self-defeating beliefs, then I will offer to you that you're never going to reach that next level, and success is not going to look like you want it to look. It'll always feel like it's far-reaching because you won't get out of your own way. The only way we get to what I'm talking about today is I got to lean in. I got to subscribe to that fear we talked about last week, and that risk, the mindset of risk that we talked about last week. Get rid of that fear we talked about last week, and even the fear we talk about today, so that you can be where you need to be. Okay? As I wrap up today, I want to say this. Success is not reserved for a selected few. Let me say that again. Success is not reserved just for elected few people. It's reserved for all of us. It grows in the life of people who are willing to stay intentional, stay disciplined, stay focused, stay resilient, stay aligned with purpose. When you're willing to do that, then that means success is for all of us. Why? Because your mindset matters. And if any of this resonated with you today, I really am encouraging you to tag someone in this. Even if they didn't make it while we were live today, tag someone, share this with them even after this. Because success is going to show up in the way you lead, the way you respond, the way you grow. the way you show up in life. Yes. Don't just chase success externally. Because we all want the bag. I get that. But the bag may not always be long-term sustainable. And for us as entrepreneurs, the bag sometimes is a roller coaster. But what keeps me doing this work on a daily basis is the lives that I impact on a daily basis. That, there's no bag big enough. And that lets me know God's got me. And he has long term so far. So I'm grateful for that. Okay? Build success internally. Build it internally. Okay? And if just as a last notion of engagement in the chat, I'm going to ask you if you are courageous enough to do so based on the conversation we've had in this webinar, in the chat. I just want you to write, I am becoming. I am becoming. That's all. I'm becoming. You're leaning into success in a different way because that is what we're trying to sustain us from a winning standpoint. I am becoming. And if you need some support, yes, that discovery call, link in the bio of whichever platform you are tuning in from, or you can always scan that QR code with your phone and sign up for a discovery call so we can go deeper. I am always willing to be your accountability partner to support you in living and being your highest and best self. This growth always helps us, folks. And if we have that mindset, that success mindset, and all the characteristics that come along with that, not the highlight reel, as we said earlier, but the discipline, the consistency, the shift, the how we show up, all of those matter in order to get where we need to be. Okay? Again, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for your engagement in the chat. Thank you for your consistent showing up each and every week to this, because for as much as I am able to put this together and pour into you each week, it also helps to grow me as well. And so as I welcome and love and appreciate the feedback I get, whether it's a text message or a chat or an inboxing me on the different platforms to let me know that you are listening in or what your feedback was, I'm always taking it to heart and taking it to continue to help me grow and give you, these lessons each and every week on these topics. I'm all here for you. So this is from me to you each week. And I am honored and grateful to be in service in this manner each and every week. So thank you all for tuning in. Have a great rest of your evening and have a blessed rest of the week. Take care.